Hey, I think you're muted.
Oh, how about that? I might have done all of that on mute. That's awesome. So, with all that, I make mistakes too. It's busy, it's been a minute since I've done that, but it's all good. Now that I have sound and I've done something very stupid. I'm not going back on it. I will say the show is brought to you by Old Dominic Distillery. OldDominicDistillery.com. Best bourbon, vodka, whiskey, and gin on the planet. Pick it up for your holiday parties. Matt Evans has tried it. He knows. He knows what's up.
I had a glass this Saturday.
Look at you. Some of the best bourbon and whiskey that your lips could taste. I'm telling you.
It's delicious. It's delicious. Highly, highly, highly rated. Highly rated. It's a go-to bottle right now. Got to get another one soon.
Absolutely. Well, man, you're in a hotel. Where are you at? What podunk town are you in now?
Laurel, Mississippi.
Wow. What a joy. Like, you are lucky. Anybody that gets to go to Laurel, Mississippi is really doing big things.
You know what's crazy about it is, like, I love going to different towns in the South, and I get privileged to go to some of these really cool places. I get to try some really cool spots, like food wise. I'm going to a place called The Loft tonight. The lady's like, "You will have this steak and you will not regret it." I was like, "Yes, ma'am." Sure. What steak? The steak. I was like, "Okay." And then yeah, that's all she said. And she looked at me like, "Okay, like, I guess I'm going there." Probably a family cousin or something that owns it. But when I come to places like this, I do like to get out. I do like to try like a local spot. And you're in rural America when they have the little town maps in the hotel. And she pulls her pen out and shows you exactly where to go. Like, I had my phone sitting right there, I love it.
Don't take that away from her. That's the best part of her day.
Yeah, I was like, "This is great," and she's like, "Don't forget to stop. This is like the heritage museums right here, and then like this is the main street, and here's the interstate that you came off of." I'm like, "All right, I love it. I get some cool spots. I can't say I've ever been in this part of Mississippi before. I've only been to Oxford and
Oxford's a little bit different. It's
drastically.
Yeah, I mean, if you go, it's a college town, but outside of that, like, Mississippi doesn't have a whole lot to offer.
I'm not going to dog on Mississippi. You never know who's listening in the background.
Very true. I say that because one of the other hosts of the In Off the Bench podcast, he lives in Mississippi, and I just like to give him shit every now and then about it. But
originally I was going to stay in Hattiesburg tonight, and I'd never been to like Southern Miss before. As Kentucky people, we love to go to the toilet bowl, so we were hoping.
Let's not even get started on Kentucky basketball. Last night was really bad.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. So, I mean, that's all there is to say about that right now.
Well, here's the good news is that at least it wasn't to a bad team, and at least like, they're going to get better. They have to get better, and they play in a stacked conference. It's
what's more frustrating about it, right, is they've talked about this, right? Kentucky is arguably the best college basketball program ever, and there's facts to back that up, like with different wins and depending on, and people talk about, well, the last decade, sure, whatever. But what's interesting, and this is true, is you see teams that get to play Kentucky and they play, that's their Super Bowl, right? So like I don't remember who we lost in preseason, but you get these preseason games, right? I think Georgetown, local college, like Georgetown, who great NAIA school, comes in and beats us. I was in college when VMI beat us, in Gardner-Webb. Like, they play their best game of the century against us, and everyone does that. And when you have Louisville, who we just lost to, rival, and I don't hate many teams, but I hate Louisville. And it hasn't been fun to hate them for the last 7 years because they've sucked so bad at everything. But recently, like, they're getting better, And when they beat us, I don't know what number of three-pointers they made in the first half, but it's got to be a school record or something. And like teams aren't going to shoot that good. And Michigan State did the same thing. The guy came out and hit 3 threes in the first like 8 minutes or something, and he's never hit more than 3 in a game in his life or whatever crap stat there is. It was horrible.
That's the Memphis curse. You get one player on the opposing team who has a career night.
Yeah.
And it's unreal. But Memphis, I'll say this, and we can get off basketball. I feel your pain. Memphis is going to struggle. Our non-conference is very difficult. We play Purdue tomorrow, which we got Louisville, we got Vanderbilt, we got Baylor, we've got possibly Texas Tech. Like it's gonna be bad. But hopefully this jackleg conference that we play in, we can win it and have a shot at something. I don't know. But fitness, you been hitting it up? You been in the gym?
You have no idea, dude. So a little about the Matt Evans personal life journey. Like, dude, I hit the heaviest I've ever been earlier this year, and I was like, I decided to do something different. I did 3 months sober, and it really wasn't that hard. But I also went and got my blood work done, and like I wanted to do that before I turned 40, and because I was like, something's not right. I have the motivation. I love working out, but like I was having a hard time, and obviously the dad, being a new dad and stuff, having a company and like building life and stability, right? Finding an hour a day shouldn't be hard, but when you get into the gym and you start maximizing your fitness, right? I was finding struggles. I was like, this shouldn't be a problem. And so let's go dive in and see what's under the hood. And I got my blood work done by a guy named Dr. Ryan. I think it's Weaponized Health. And I did some different peptides. And so I was like, okay, cool. Like if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that on Get Real Serious. And within 2 weeks, like, and before I did that, I rechecked the diet. So I backed off my calories and started doing macro tracking. And like my wife, Lindsay, she's been great helping with that. Actually, it's very hard for anyone to ever coach me. I know this, but with
shout out to Lindsay.
I don't know if she's listening. She's probably putting Peanut to bed. But she's like, hey, like I was like, hey, look, I need help. Like I'm not confident. I need to figure this out. And this is brutal. And like I see the pictures like with the grid team, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like I look like shit. So I was like, let's take care of this. Let's figure this out. Let's do it this the right way. And when I got my panel back, I was like, oh God, like there's nothing super alarming, but it was to a point where I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. So let's fix that. But so we didn't just jump on all the drugs. We made sure the diet was there, and then the workout was there. And then when we started to add the peptides, things started changing. And I've maintained that level of intensity, right? So 2 a day is getting back there. And then now I also have some motivation because I have to go do Army stuff for 4.5 months in January. I'm not going to go and be, it's time to look the part a little bit better. So we've definitely upped the game on it a little bit. And hey, shout out to peptides, dude. If anyone out there is like trying to like figure that part out, don't abuse it, but shoot, get on that stuff. I guess I'm not supposed to say that for grid athletes, but
I'll edit it out. It's like you never said it.
Yeah, no,
no.
I think there's some good things for that. I think there's a really,
I think the biggest thing that you're missing, man, is there's people at home that now it's different. Now you have not that you didn't have a reason before, but now there's a distinct reason to get yourself together,
the primal instinct when you have a kid. And like I used to, I don't like to say I laughed at dads before. I mean, we talked about this on the dad cast a little bit. We need to do episode 2. But one thing that gets me is like the dad strength, right? The dad strength hit me. I don't know, probably when she hit, like when before I did the peptides, but I was like, okay, like I can still lift heavy. But the other day I went to the gym and like hey, for some people, you know, squatting 400 pounds is lightweight, but like for me, I love squatting, but I haven't tried to max out in forever. At an LA Fitness, after like a long week, I just decided to go for it, and I hit it with ease. I was like, I did it in Brooks. I didn't no lifters, no belt, nothing. And I was like, I was able to walk in, or I was able to walk the next day, let alone go for a run. I was like, that's crazy. So like the dad strength hit. Oh my god, dude! Like that instinct. Like, yeah, it's fun.
Real shit. I mean, that's nice, man. I mean, hopping in there and hitting 400, obviously, got to be a little bit of motivation too. Like, all right, shit. Like I'm like getting my shit together. Like I'm feeling good. The weights are on there. Like, let's go.
Yeah,
But
anytime you put 4 wagon wheels up there, you're feeling pretty good. I mean,
no,
that's and you get under it, right? Like, also, I'm at an LA Fitness where everyone knows this trend. Everyone knows the trend. I'm at a gym where they don't train legs, so I go over in the back corner, and you know, it's appropriate for me to grunt when you have that many to get a little bit of
definitely.
you know. I let them know. I let them know what's up.
Everybody knows when you're squatting.
It's funny. It's funny. Like I'm not that loud and aggressive, but it is comical when that happens. Yeah, for sure.
So I haven't talked to you since the end of last season as far as
Yeah.
like on the podcast, but
Yeah.
thinking back with the Breakers last season, how would you grade it? If you're going to grade it A, B, C, D, F, like how would you grade it looking back on it now?
So,
Which is a good way to look at it because I think in the moment, like it's been some time, you've been able to process it. So now you can probably look at it in a different view. But like
yeah,
now, what do you grade it?
I'm. You know, the gut reaction is I immediately when you asked this question, and I didn't know you were going to ask this, but I probably should have suspected it. I immediately think back to that podcast where like, look, it's championship or bust. And I think this was my 5th year being involved with Grid, first year being involved on the team side. What is really standing out to me is it's really cool the accolades our players got. It's really cool that we got the coach of the year. It's really cool that we have a fantastic returning squad. Like we have all the stuff for another year to do that. What is even cooler is that I personally feel that we were a culture bearing team this year that helped solidify what not just some other teams were doing, but you know, for us moving forward, we were giving a blueprint to the league for what successful teams look like, right? Maybe I'm off base by saying that, but I really think like with conversations I've had with some of the other coaches and other assistants, you know, and other players, people noticed us this year, and which is cool. We weren't just the breakers of decades past. But if to go to your question, man, to grade it, like I don't like having a letter grade, but you know, we failed our goal of the championship or bust, right? So that's an F. But as for solidifying a brand and solidifying a culture moving forward, we did well. Uh-oh. Hold on.
Hornadate's just saying 100. Everything you're saying.
Oh. And the other thing that from a grading the season standpoint, I'm gonna zoom out from just the breakers. I think what Grid League as a whole did this year, right? The championship event, from level of athletes, I think the right teams were there. I think from a sport spectator standpoint, the people that the teams that were there, and you know, I'll say it, like we shit the bed as a team. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like the Breakers, maybe the moment was too big for us. I'm going to say that I was a little baffled in the result of the Sharks and the Brigade with how they ended up showing out. And I mean, that was, I did not see that coming.
I mean, this is how when you get there in the season, you can't have that day be your worst day. You just can't. And I think for the Brigade, like that day was their worst day.
It looked bad. I mean,
they were, I would say, if you want to talk about consistency, they were very consistent the entire season with what they were able to do, what they were
yeah.
able to accomplish. And, everybody thought it would be the same. I mean, I would probably say that people were expecting that to be a very, very close match, much like what we saw, previous to that in Dallas. But it didn't really, it kind of, it didn't meet standard just because they just had an off day. But for you guys, you had opportunities. I don't think the brigade, as they got into it, you kind of the opportunities left. But for y'all, started slow but gained an advantage and had opportunities to put it away and win. And it just
there were, in regards to the Brigade Sharks match, there were. I can't comment on the team aspect. You're not behind the scenes. No one's behind the scenes. You hear comments from players afterwards out of anger and fear and not fear, excuse me, out of anger and sadness and frustration. But I don't know if it was the experience of the Sharks losing, in key pivotal moments that prepared them for that. One of the Sharks player, Blake Kidder, made a comment either on I think on a podcast. You made a couple different times that from the beginning of the season, they thought of everything as the championship, and that's their mindset. So when they walked out that day, there was nothing they did that looked different. There was nothing they did, but the Brigade and the Breakers, when we showed up for that first match, same thing with the Lions. Hey, you can't discredit the Lions. The Lions had to go A to B, and that's they were going to be in it. It was ours to lose in that match. But not saying the Lions aren't an amazing team, but we lost matches we were supposed to win, and we had some errors. Things didn't happen. The comment that I'll say, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say it, but I will. The moment was probably too big for us. Like, the moment was too big for us. No individual athlete. There's no one to blame. There's nothing like that. As a team, we weren't there.
I think it's easy to say that, but in reality, that's the truth, because none of the athletes had been in a moment that big. So of course the moment is going to be bigger than what you might be ready for. But looking at that, how do you repeat that success? And obviously you want to do better, but let's focus first on the repeating. How do you maintain what you built and get back to the playoffs next season?
So there's a couple things I think is going to be interesting to watch this year, right? The schedule is going to be different. With the Grid League having only 8 teams in the 2025 season and going to 9, I don't know, rumored 10 coming up. The matches and the schedule are going to be different. And without stirring the pot, you can go back and look, and some teams had a lighter road to get there. Now you're playing 4 matches. Like, it's not going to bust you up, right? Because it's not like fatigue sets in until the last day. I think the success though, and this is where we didn't get to shine at playoffs. Our depth, I would venture to say, was probably one of the best in the league. Our roster depth, truthfully. And for us to have success this coming year as the organization of the Breakers run, one, it's every player has to show up believing in the system that Matt's put in place, right? That I assist with, that Josh has helped coach. JoJo is a big part of that. Alyssa, there's Alyssa, and I say because she's one of the veteran. Vita, like, there's all the people that are involved that want to be involved on the higher level.
I gotta fact check myself. I wasn't Matt's calling me out, which is true. He said JoJo and Alyssa both won a championship. And Cody's been in the playoffs. So it's not like there wasn't that experience.
Well, but look at it this way, right? Like, Matt's correct. We did have some experience there. There's the difference when you look at our first match, the first match that we played and then lost. The Lions, Terry came over to me and said, "Hey, that's what experience does." I'm paraphrasing, but like he congratulates on the season and stuff. Terry came over and was like, our experience got us here, and which is I believe was true. And thinking back and the images that play in my head, the number of times I have mental pictures of looking over at the Lions after they lost the race, they seemed a little more calmer than we were. Right. And there's different parts, like, part of grid is at a certain point in the match, it's over. Like the calculation, it's over as long as you don't not finish a race.
Yeah.
But the experience that we have this year now and that burn, I would say is probably going to motivate some people to not, assignments will be different. The race mentality, like you don't have rookies starting in playoffs, right? So now you have people that have experience that now have gone to playoffs, that you have more you have a more mental fortitude base across the whole team that knows what's expected. They know the feeling of defeat, right? So once you taste the feeling of defeat, you don't want to feel that again. Right. So I don't think it'll be a problem getting back. I mean, that's a bold statement, right? The way too early poll, right? I don't think it's bold to say that we won't go back to playoffs, right? I think you have to stay tuned with, rosters across the league finalizing who we bring in, who we, who comes and doesn't come. No comments on that tonight. But I do think, man. Like, no, there's
all right, that's been a great show, y'all. No spoilers tonight.
No spoilers from me, man. I've learned to keep quiet on certain things. But no, I mean, like it's to repeat the success. There's different things like I don't know that we can say out on the podcast that like happened during the season that were like between different teams at different moments that I think Matt and I like sat there and scratched our heads and we're like, all right, like we can improve upon that, there are different points where you talk about how we practice, like that blueprint's there. The practicing, getting together, the camaraderie. There are different points where individual players stepped up and were like, I got that. Don't worry, in the heat of the moment. So when you have the makings and you don't just have the good athletes with experience and you have the ability for them to show out essentially and have confidence in their ability to go crush it and not just go do that, it's a little bit more fun. But I don't think our tone's going to be, hey, we're here to have fun this season. I mean, we're going to have fun, but like, I don't think that's the tone. I could be wrong, but I know there's a bad taste in our mouth. Like that was not how the season was supposed to go,
So I think both of those things can be true. And I think both of those things can happen. You can have that mentality of we're here to win, but you can also have fun because winning is fun. When you win, you have fun. And so like they kind of go hand in hand. And yeah, like if you want to show up at the beginning of the match and it's a different vibe and a different feel, and then as you get into it and you start loosening up, you start seeing the score go the way that you want it, then yeah, those smiles and that joy probably comes out a little bit more. But it's business. I mean, and the best athletes will tell you like they're the best athletes because like they treat it as such. And
100%. 100%.
It's not that they don't have fun, but they're gonna do what they got to do to win first. For you, what's new to the Breakers? What are you working on, and what can you tease us on? You said you didn't want to have any spoilers.
So
can you give us something?
There's
Fico. Winning is fun.
Yeah. Hey, shout outs to the Sharks, man. Like Fico and Conci built a hell of a program, hell of a brand, franchise team, however you want to call it. They have a good formula. So to give them some credit, we actually talked with them at the beginning of the year for some of the business side of things and what they were doing and how to put my own spin on it. How Matt's been very trustworthy and like, hey, like this is how we need to do this and grow. And we've seen some success. So like on the business side of things, we actually partnered up with a brand called Totem, and we're working what that looks like. It's essentially it's a fitness. Their background is they want to be the Etsy of fitness and online coaching and fitness products, right? They've got a really cool platform. They got a really cool app that they're building out, and we're gonna be a part of that. Where essentially anything related to fitness, you can go get it. We're still working out the details for what we're actually gonna put on there, but like from a sponsorship standpoint, like there's a platform. They are gonna have they have a following. They have a unique market that they can go into. In regards with different larger companies that have like that have HSAs that you can go on an HSA website and buy stuff. Like they're going to be able to do that through the app, and so we'll be able to bring more viewers to Grid, but through a different avenue, not just like online or on the YouTube channel, but through products like stuff that we're promoting, stuff that we're partnering with. So for the business side of things, like we cracked a pretty cool sponsor with them, and we hope that works out. And then from a player management and player management and roster side of things, there might be some new faces, there might be some old faces. Da 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 da. I don't really.
I mean, I had Matt Hornaday on not too long ago, and he said the same thing. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt because it was a little bit earlier. Now we're getting later. At what point are we going to start letting people know?
I'm a little embarrassed. Like, I don't know the timeline right now. It's been a hectic 45 days for the Evans household. Yeah. So the timeline for letting people know, I do not know off the top of my head. I know we're waiting for some season dates unless they've been released the last couple of days. This past season, being married to Lindsay, a director of the league, I'm very I guess that's the title. I don't know. She keeps a lot of things separate from me. I have to find out the normal way of people instead of just like, hey babe, what's going on? Give me the 411. No, the Breakers, we started a trend, and I'm sure if anyone from the Palms are on here, but we did the alternate jersey this year, and we changed up our color, and so like I hope other teams do that, right? Stay tuned for what our color is going to be this year. I don't even know what it's going to be this year. I know we talked about it. We had some really cool designs, but we'll see. I'm excited. The cool thing is that we solidified another foundation. So the Grid did a really good job hopping on the bus as soon as champs were over and playoffs are over to start next year and not a dead period. So a lot of props to them, and tireless work to get it going. I'm really excited for next year to see, because we had athletes come from across the world to come play and participate. So the growth of the sport, the true organic growth that we're having is something to be cool. When it comes to talking about players and personnel, again, I've never been shy with some of my thoughts, but I know there was a lot of preseason flack last year about who and what personalities the Breakers brought on. And a lot of I'm just going to say it, there was a lot of BS, that was floating around in the roar of Grid League. But, when you look at it, I would make an argument that we were one of the closest knit teams that we had, and that Grid's ever seen, from the sense of how we practiced, how we communicated, how we talked. I think Matt and I talked on average during the season every other day, if not more, on stuff that was going on, right? So we, like I said in the original podcast that I met with you, we ran it like a business and like a true sports team, and I hope other teams are doing that, right? I'd like for the growth of the league, but from there's not a whole lot of new things that are going to change from our standpoint. I should have worn a breaker, by the way. I didn't even think about that.
It's all good. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You've already done that. You know what the blueprint is. Now you just need to kind of fine tune some of those things. And I think once you have the sponsors and you have the right people, it's finding those extra little pieces that are going to put you over the top. So as we sit today, November 19th, looking at what the roster is, looking at what it potentially could be that you guys don't want to spoil, what are expectations for next season? Have you thought about it yet?
No, Matt and I haven't had a call really on that. Like, it's kind of an unwritten, unspoken. Like, we know what the expectations are. The expectations are championship or bust, right? We're not in here for second place. With that being said, though, right? Like, there's different. I hope our players train differently, knowing what grid's like. You know, I hope there's a passion to level up, and I think there is. I really think there is. I think there's a passion to level up their individual games, right? So the cool thing is like I've seen, I've taken a little bit of a step back, but I still read our chat, the team check text and stuff like that. But I think I still see people's stories, like, but I know that there's a drive now, like, you know, there's a drive for seeing to try new skills, to learn new skills, right? To fight for more playing time next year. Like we're gonna have those battles, and truthfully, it's only better for us as a team to have that, and then also to instill that kind of a, you know, you got to get better, or you're not going to be a good grid player. Not even, you know, and that's not just our team. That's everybody's team, right? Like, that's everybody's team. I'll tell you, when it comes to watching teams develop and stuff, only because, like, you know, we lost to them, but they had a change of ownership in the Lions. You know, shout out to the Lions. I think I'm really excited to see, like, you know, sad to see Jamie go and retire from coaching. Like, I hope she comes around. I hope she does some commentating. But I'm really excited to see how they develop as an organization. And, you know, anytime you have a coaching change, ownership change, you know, there's it's a lot of fire there to see, you know. So a lot of support, love and support to them. But I'm sure they're battling some of the same deals there.
Yeah, it'll be different, I'm sure. But I mean, I think for them, they're re-signing a bunch of players that have a lot of good experience, and that matters. Obviously, you guys witnessed that last season. Can you win it all? Are you there yet?
Now that I know that Fico's in the chat, right? So, like, I've had this conversation before. I think there was an avenue for us to beat the Sharks last year in a perfect scenario, you know, 1 time out of 10, 5 times. I don't know. I think we had the athletes to do it. I think there was a road in a perfect situation where, you know, you have a tired Sharks and a tired Breakers. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of opportunities to say, like, the could you, woulda, shoulda scenarios. I would like to think that when you make it to playoffs, and I really thought this past year, this was the best playoffs I think I'd ever seen. I'm pretty sure I told Mather and Ruby that. I love the venue we were at. It really felt like anyone's game. Yeah, well, there were favorites, right? Like, the Sharks go undefeated, and, like, they have one close match against the Brigade, and then they play again. So I didn't like that, but, you know, I didn't like playing the Lions and playing them again, and then there's Brigade playing the Sharks and then playing them again. You know, I didn't wish we could have changed that up somehow.
Yeah.
But this coming season, man, like, you don't know how teams are going to respond. Like the Bandits this year, for example, like, they had some holes. You know, they're a new team, they're learning it, but you have people now that, again, you have a whole year of training to change from CrossFit gymnastics to grid, right?
Right.
And our Josh Newell will tell you about that. Ask him. I know you have, about when he switched from whatever kind of training he was doing before, you know, stupid man strength, just craziness, to then grid stuff. Like, look what he can do now. It's crazy. And I think that's what you'll see other teams develop that as they come in. The Wolves, I mean, I've seen some of their athletes. Like, it's gonna be fun to see that. So, can we win it all? Absolutely, right? Like, it's anyone's game, and especially way too early in the season. Yeah, you can win it all.
Yeah.
But upsets, I don't know. Are we the team now? Like, last year after that first match with the Venom, were we the underdog then after they saw our roster? Like, that was a weird thing to think about, right?
Yeah.
When were we ever the underdog or not? Like, that was fun to, like, have that emotional, like, oh man, like, we're supposed to win this, you know, or not. Like, are we going to be the underdog this year in any match? I don't know. Like, that's what's what's fun. But winning it all, man, shoot. Like I'm curious to see if the Venom roster this year. I think if they had their full team that showed up in Dallas, I think it's a completely different match against us in the beginning. I'll give them credit on that. Like that's, I mean, completely different team in Dallas than when they were in the beginning of the year. Same thing with the Palms. You know, Briley wasn't there for the first two matches or second match, our match. So it's going to be fun to see what happens. You know, now that I'm on this side of it, or you know, in this realm, completely different mindset and how I view the sport and like what I watch for and what I learned. The calls that you watch in person, when you go back and you watch the video the next morning, you kind of see how ludicrous you are sometimes. And you can obviously like the refs aren't perfect, but I'm over here like, there's no way they hit the bar there. And like you get a close up like, oh, chest hitting the bar every time, you know, like
my bad.
yeah, I was wrong. But I'm excited to see. I think
I'll say this for just being able to do what I do. I have probably the outside of referees and Brandon, I have the best view of what happens in a review. And it is hard. It is not like you would think that slowing it down and like it's still very, very hard. So I tip my hat to them because I think a lot of times they make the right calls.
I agree with you that they make the right calls. I think there are some. I called Mather on one of the matches this time, and I'm going to say I let him have it, but I was pissed. And I was
hard,
pissed.
Man. I'm telling you, it is hard.
There's different things that happened, and you know the reffing this year has got so much better. You know, anyone out there that's hating on the refs, like get bent, man. Like go try it for a day with 4 matches. Yeah. I genuinely think they did a good job this year overall, and it's gotten leaps and bounds better. I think the ref crew, there's a core group of them. They got it, you know. They take pride in it, right? So anytime you have that, like as a volunteer in a paid position, and however we want to talk about that, they do a really good job. They do a really good job for what it is, and it's cool to see that, right? Brandon, you know, Brandon cares so much, and it shows, and I think it's made the sport better. Hell, judging some of that stuff isn't. I mean, a triple touch, you know, like
no thank people.
You. Yeah, those are the ones that get me. You know, those are the ones that get me. But from the review standpoint, you're talking about, you saw a lot this year. That was cool. You guys standing over there, and then hey, I'll give him a shout out, Jason at Jason CF Media, meeting him this year at Champs and Playoffs. Great dude, so much fun, and I know he was loving it being right there, and you all doing the lane swaps and stuff. So much fun watching you guys do that. But the review, man, like, whew, I don't like some of the rules that we have and like what you're allowed to challenge, right? Like, I don't like that. If there's faults that were missed, if we challenge the wrong thing, but like it still impacted the race, and no, if it's wrong, it's wrong. And I know like that's a very generalist statement, but that was my take on it, right? Like a foul is a foul is a foul. Period.
Yep.
Period. You know. But until we get like some AI to watch everything, we're not gonna.
I don't know. It may not be too far away, but we'll see. All right. I gotta go do dad stuff, man. Let's wrap this up. It's 8:00 my time. It's prime time your time. I mean,
8:15. Yeah.
So, all right.
I go get that steak from the loft.
There you go.
I'm gonna like it.
The steak. You don't have a choice because it's the only one they have. No. Just a little heads up. Matt said this was hands down the closest group he's been involved with the grid, and he gave us a little tease. After we get the season dates, then we might see some more signees. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun.
Yep.
Always
Matt,
fun, dude. Always
yeah,
fun.
definitely. Anything you want to plug or promote?
Man, shout out Palm Beach Breakers. We're gonna crush this next season. Our sponsors, and I'll say Old Dominic Distillery, man, because I popped that bottle out. I popped that bottle out this past Saturday. I poured it on the rocks neat, dude. A rock neat, because that's how you're supposed to drink it. One.
Two fingers.
No, it was good. It was good, man. Appreciate the time. I'm excited
bro.
for everyone this coming year, so be good.
It'll be fun, man. Hey, if you need anything, holler at me. All right, that is Matt Evans, everybody of the Palm Beach Breakers. If you like hearing Matt's story, or you just like hearing Average Joe's talk X's and O's, please like, share the podcast on Facebook. Head over to YouTube, like, subscribe, notifications. That way you're first to know when new content is dropped. And with that, we're going to take a break. It's the holiday season. I got some food to eat next week. I got some Christmas lights to install. I got a Christmas tree to put up. A lot of things going on next week. So won't be back next week, but after that, be on the lookout. More episodes are coming. And at the first of the year, you're going to start seeing power rankings. You're going to start seeing more player interviews. You're going to see a lot of things coming. We're going to start breaking down the league news, the new, the old, the good, the bad, all of those things in between as we lead into the 2026 United Grid League season. Appreciate it, everybody. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grid and grind all the time. We're out.